Greetings, Judah, Israel, Brother DFG, Elder DFG here. All right, let's get right to it. Black Jesus. Black Jesus. Now, where have we heard that before? Let me think. If you've been following this channel for more than a moment, if you've been subscribed to this channel for more than a week, I think we've had a whole lot of conversation about, black Jesus, the black one that turned white, and now he's black again. But since Vladimir Putin, Russian president, has said he's black, now everybody, all of Israel, not all of us, most of Israel, are jumping on the bandwagon. See, I told you Jesus was black. I told y'all didn't listen to me. So now let's go on back to church. Because Jesus black now. Y'all hear? Brothers and sisters, we got to do better than this. We've got to do better than that. The heathen tells us this guy's been president, 20 plus years? And KGB. Let's not forget that. And because he goes down in some vault and say, oh, look, y'all, looky here. And I want to talk like whenever they want to mock us, that's how they mock us. Poor English, right? Look y'all here. Look there, right there. See, he's a black. But very conveniently, when we start to wake up as Israel, now, all of a sudden, they want to give us the black Jesus. The one that's a construct of our imagination, just like the rapture is. Yeah, just like the rapture. It's a lie. It's a construct of, again, some little girl's imagination. Because the little girl said, who's coming? Jesus. So if the rapture is BS, then let me figure this out. I would be willing to bet you anything that Jesus, black, white, yellow, brown, is also a figment of someone's imagination. And just like the book warned us, our Tanakh said what? That the heathen would copy and paste, add and subtract from our book to create their own book. And then they would write the image or make an image and likeness of themselves and place it inside of our book, the Torah. You can find that in 1 Maccabees 3 and 48. And our ancestors told us, hey guys, that's going to happen. Beware, be ready. It's a trap, it's a snare, it's a con game. The fix is in. So now they give us Putin, who conveniently tells us again that Jesus is black now. How you doing? Who gives a rat's ass what color he is? He has nothing to do with us, Israel. No more than what they told us 2,000 years ago when they created him. They said, let's give them this fictional character and let's tell them that's their savior, that's their king. And then let's convince them to forget all about thousands of years of their own history where they had many kings. Oh, and by the way, while we're thinking about it, let's tell them he's their savior and their redeemer, although they have a history book that told them thousands of years before Jesus came on the scene that Yahuwah was their savior and that Yahuwah was their redeemer. And Yahuwah was their power. So let's just strip them all down. Let's get some whips and let's get some chains. Let's get us a few overseers, preferably ones that look just like them, melanated ones. And let's create these little church boxes. And let's create these little heathen altars. And let's pay them off so they can push this wicked agenda. And we'll stay in power. Talking about the heathens. And here we go again. I remember this little song when I was, here we go round the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush. There we go round the mulberry bush, happy we will go. Oh my goodness. Brothers and sisters, it doesn't matter what color Jesus is. He has nothing to do with Israel. Whether your grandmammy, your grandpappy, or whoever else tells you otherwise. We have one Savior, one Redeemer. Just go to Isaiah 43, start reading from verse 1 to verse 4. And stop right there to validate what your brother is saying. But like so many of us in Israel, you know, how they're saying, when it come down to white rice and black rice, white rice is always going to be whiter than black rice. Because you know the heathen knows better. The prophets and the watchmen, you know, no, don't listen to them. Nah. Who are they to tell us what to do? But didn't First Baruch, we studied it last night in our lessons, say the people were stiff-necked, hard-headed, would not listen to Yah's watchmen. Oh no, they needed Nimrod, they needed Nebuchadnezzar, they needed Putin, they need Biden, and all their hired hands to tell them that their Savior wasn't enough, that somehow or another, for thousands of years, we were good enough for Yahuwah. But then overnight, some little heathen man lay crossed on a cross, hung on a tree, replacing the Almighty Creator. And we bought it, and many still buying it. 2024, you can go look it up. Man, it's again a figment of one's imagination, just like the rapture. But try telling that to the average Israelite, and you're gonna have a fight on your hand. But we're gonna tell you anyway. You need to know. But again, white rice is whiter than black rice for many of our people. So that's all I got to say about that. Who gives a rat's ass, you know, what color is a character that they created and put in place intentionally to deceive us? Just Mulak, Baal, Ra, Nah, by another name, Zeus. But hey, as the old saying goes, from Burger King, have it your way. All right, if you want to believe the lie, then believe the lie. Now let's move on a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about this whole thing with the immigrant situation. And when I say the trouble, I'm talking about a capital I, immigrant. You know, brothers and sisters, you know, many of us are getting caught up in the fact that, you know, we need to get somebody to close down the borders. We need the borders closed down. And this ties in Leave the World Behind. You'll find that in this title. And I'll get there. Give me a moment. But this ties into that whole thing about the immigrant problem. We got to close the borders. We got to close the borders. Brothers and sisters, it doesn't matter anymore whether or not the borders are open or closed. There are approximately 40 million immigrants that have come across those borders in the last 4 or 5 years. And for you mathematicians out there, that's 1 out of 5 when you talk about 300, million Americans. So 1 out of every 5 individuals in this country right now is an illegal immigrant related to legal immigrants. In Israel, you say, well, brother, what's that got to do with us? Everything. Why do you think they let them over here? When we start to awaken about who we were and we stop drinking, the white coffee that wasn't good as the black coffee, or the black coffee that wasn't good as the white coffee, and we realized it was still coffee. In other words, when we realized that, the fix is in, Democrat, Republican, 2 tits on the same cow, 2 horns on the same bull, they say, okay, we're going to have to come up with another plan. So let's just bring the heathen from all around the world, and let's let them all in, and let's use them to replace the Israelites that are here, who are waking up and who are not participating in the roots anymore. So let's just bring in a whole bunch of immigrants. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start financing the immigrants. We're going to start giving them housing. We're going to start giving them financial subsidies. And of course, we're going to remind them who they work for and ultimately who they're here to replace. Yeah, you and I, Israel. Now, if you go back and read Psalms 83, it tells us that the heathens from all over this flat earth will be here to do what? To make sure that the name of Israel is no more in the land. And they're here now. So all this fuss about shutting down the borders, closing the borders, that's over with, brothers. The border, that's done. That's a nothing burger. They're already here. What we need to be thinking about as Israel is how we're going to defend ourselves against them. Because see, these Edomites and these bougie Israelites, the bougie ones, you know, the ones who consider themselves the top 10, the 1% or whatever they call themselves. See, they're all running for the hills now. They're getting out of the country. They're going down in their bunkers. Because what they're going to do is they're going to unleash them same heathen immigrants who are coming from countries where war and mayhem is the order of the day. And they're going to put them right in the midst of us who have been so pampered that our young women think that it's okay to go get up on rooftops telling people to eat their stinky behinds. And our men are no better because they get right behind their stinky behinds and do y'all knows what to them. Weak, delicate, and effeminate men. Tender men. And let's not even get into the homosexual pieces of it too. That's gonna, you know. Long and the short of it, most of the Israelite, y'all not ready for war. They're ready for war. They're coming out of war-torn countries, third world countries. They're ready to fight. They understand mayhem. They know how to walk through dead bodies. They know how to eat out of trash and garbage. Do you? Again, we studied it last night. If you're not with us, you're missing out. We studied last night that there'll be a lot of cannibalism going on in Israel. A lot of it. Due to starvation and mayhem and judgment, of course. Judgment. Interesting word. Why judgment? Oh, because we decided that we want to fall in love with black Jesus now. Which is just another snare to get our people, especially the young people, back into the churches. Because many of them left the churches. Those temples of Baal, they left because they wasn't going to serve no white Jesus. But you give them a black one now, that might work for some. For those who are uninformed. But as long as the remnant are out here, you and I, we're going to keep on crying aloud. We're not going to shut up. We're not going to shut down. As long as you're supporting your brothers, thumbing up these videos and liking them and sharing them, we're going to make it hard for that lie to get past. But brothers and sisters, we're up against it. Because all these people they've brought into this country, trust me, most of them know about war and most of them hate us. Let's just be honest about it. We go to their country, we get treated like crap in this country as well. Nothing new under the sun, as Solomon said. Now you take that and you tie it up. Let's go to leave the world behind. Because this ties in. Not so much the black Jesus. The black Jesus is just to dupe you again, just to get you falling away from who you are, to get you back into the church, to keep us in idolatry. Keep the curses, keep us weak as they stay strong, because Yah will never bless us as long as we're idolaters. If we claim any other Savior, any other Redeemer other than Him, He is not going to bless us. It's all through the book. Read it. If we refuse to keep His commandments, then we're going to continue to get piled on. And ultimately eliminated, except for a remnant of us. Because Yah promised that those of us who will stay in this truth, those of us who will live by Yah's laws, statutes, and commandments, He said He'll protect us. But let's go back to the movie. Leave the world behind. I'm going to do a little compare and contrast here. Do you guys remember part of the movie where the White Line cargo ship went off course, ran ashore? Now, what just happened recently? A couple of days ago. Did not a cargo ship on the East Coast where the White Line went off course go off course again? Run into a bridge? Francis Scott Key Bridge, I think is what it's called. Caused a major disruption. And what did they say happened? It lost power. That sounds familiar. Because if you go back to the movie, did not the White Line lose power? Just like all those planes lost power and crashed upon the beach on the East Shore, right up into Washington, Maryland, Virginia area. Nothing new under the sun. They said lost power. I wonder how that happened. Could it be Putin taking vengeance for the 130 plus Russians that were killed at a concert in his country last week? Could it be China, who's getting revenge for all of their cargo ships that we're attacking in the Strait of Hormuz? Just asking for a friend, as the saying goes. Something to think about. So was it, did they take down the communication system and cause the ship to go off track? Or did they just take drones, or did they just guide it offshore? Guide it into the bridge? Was it a cyber attack? Because that's what happened in the movie. That's what we were told was going to happen in the movie. And it's happening in plain sight. Now let's go back to the immigrant problem. Because again, how long will it be before we get into wars with the immigrants? Fighting for what? Resources. Resources that many of us know are rightfully ours, but we know due to the laws in the heathens book, we'll never get it. But yeah, we'll fight for those resources. We're going to fight for the housing. We're going to fight for the land. We're going to fight, for all the things that we have always strived to have. What little bit that is, we're going to fight to keep it. And they're going to fight us back to take it. And they're going to defund the police and take the military and run them off somewhere else, like 9/11, somehow or another they weren't in the area. And they're going to let a civil war take off. But see, we're thinking it's going to be between the heathens and us. No, it's going to be between those immigrants and us. As the heathens sit back and watch and let us take out each other. That's what the movie said. Remember the end of the movie? You saw the cities going up in flames, explosions, gunshots. Who was doing that fighting? Why? A ship goes off course on the East Coast. No true explanation how. Guided directly in the proper spot of that bridge to knock it down, and now causing all kind of freight issues. That sounds like revenge to me. I don't know if I was Putin and I wanted to, let America know, don't play with me. You start messing with my economy. You start messing with my cargo ships. I'm going to let you know, hey, I can do the same thing to you, if not worse. Because more is coming. But I just wonder how many of my brothers are connecting these sisters, are connecting these dots. What about, now they're forecasting that it's going to be an epidemic of fleas and mosquitoes and ticks. Remember the movie? Remember the tick biting the Edomite on the leg? Now they're saying the same thing's going to happen because all these unusual weather patterns is going to cause an infestation of ticks, mosquitoes, and other, disease-carrying insects. Is that a part of the plan as well? Eliminate us through, socially engineered, genetically engineered insects to breed and put them in the rural areas, urban areas where we're most vulnerable. I can see them doing that. After all, they did give our people syphilis and let it rot in their bodies for 40 years and never said anything about it. So I wouldn't put it past the Edomites. I wouldn't put any of this past the Edomites. And as we said many times, art imitating life. But these are some things that y'all put up on my heart to share with you, Israel, to my brothers and sisters. This immigrant issue, they're here already. Again, 40 million plus. So whether or not it's Trump or Biden, closing the border, it's too late for that. That's just a nothing burger to distract our brothers and sisters. They can close the border all they want. It's not going to change a thing. Not a single thing. So you need to get that off your mind and start asking another question. How, as we as a people, are going to come together and protect one another? Because if you think these heathens going to protect us, you got another thing coming, brothers and sisters. They'll just block off all of the roadways, all of the trail. They'll use the bridges. They'll use the railroads. They'll block off every access out of this city and lock us in. and make the cities a prison. More than a prison, a battlefield. A killing zone. While we sit over here throwing stones at one another. Oh no, brother, it's Jesus for me and nothing but Jesus. I don't know. You might want to ask yourself the question, what has Jesus done for you lately? What has he done for your mammy, your pappy, your grandmammy, your grandpappy? Because I can tell you what Yahuwah does for us every single day. Strengthen our hands to war and our fingers to fight. And he answers our prayers, if you can believe that. He changes our lives. He helped us to remember who we are as a chosen people, a special people, a mighty people, or even a blessed people. He's opened our eyes, at least some of us, or as the book says, a very small remnant. But that said, I just thought I'd update you. How you say? Tell you a little bit about the, how you say? The skinny, give you the skinny on it. Because it's coming. It's already here. Question is what you're going to do about it. Are you going to just continue to worry about what's going on with P. Diddy and Cat Williams, Candace Owens, all those distractions? That's what it is. Or are you going to turn your head away from that and look back to Yah, put your head in his cipher, put yourself with like-minded brothers and sisters who think just like you think, the way I think, and finish this fight strong? That's a question, choice you're going to have to make for yourself. But we're here to help. I know I am. But I guess next Moses will be white. Since Jesus turned black. Right there. Go down, Moses, way down, Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. Brothers, if you want to be free, you better get your hands on a stick, gun, knife, or whatever you get, and you better start fighting. Otherwise, there ain't no Pharaoh coming for you. Plus, Pharaoh ain't your friend anyway, and neither is Jesus, black or not. Shalom.